Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today we're going to talk about...
What the fuck just went down at the Apple event for September 2022?
Not a lot. But I'm going to kick off today by saying happy birthday to Russ. This is a cover of a song that Russ likes by me on the opening hour by Brad Example. Convoluted much? Let's do it. Lay me down by the river, let the current cover me, as my past pain's the only thing that lasts. The days I've been lonely, the days I've been fooled, love only lasts from full moon to full moon. I've been trying to escape from the dark, cursed to live like this until I fall apart. I have a feeling there is no one that'll understand me and cure this lonesome feeling. Lay me down in a tomb where I'll finally get some rest. Let the road on a river where my dreams come to live. I'm a dreamer, I've got all these dreams. If you're real, I'll give you everything. I've been trying to escape from the dark, cursed to live like this until I fall apart. I have a feeling there is no one that'll understand me and cure this lonesome feeling. Wanna know what you feel when you look at me? Am I who I am or who you want me to be? Do you have the patience to wait around for me? Am I cursing life for misery or someone cute, lonesome villain trying to escape from the dark? Cursed to live like this until I fall apart. I've got a feeling there's no one that'll understand me and cure this lonesome feeling. I've been trying to escape from the dark, cursed to live like this until I fall apart. I've got a feeling there's no one that'll understand me and cure this lonesome feeling. Wow, I wasn't showing any credit. I'll get rid of that.
Deep
If I
breath.
swear, I'm going to swear right there, so I better get rid of it. Hello, what's going on? I'm always feeling it. Mars Capone, always feeling it. Every time I sing beautiful songs like that, you can't help but feel it. Welcome to the show. My name's Jade. This is How to App on iOS, and I hope you're all doing good. Doing good. I was up early today for some kind of event that happened, but we'll get into that. So yeah, that was taken from the opening hour. That was episode 608 or something. So every now and again I do now a community YouTube covers episode where I sing a bunch of your songs. I cover your songs, and that was Brad Examples, Loads and Feeling. It's an amazing song. It's a beautiful song, and I'm going to end today's show with the original version because it's a great song, and there's a bit of meaning behind it today because it is Russ's birthday. Russ 8889, who's in the chat right now. Wish him happy birthday. 73 today, doing well. You know, throw his emojis in the chat if you're a wart warrior. You can become a wart warrior for $1 a month. And Russ actually, I think he stated in the chat, he made that video clip for that song, so I thought I would end with that song. We played Russ yesterday on the show. He gets played all the time, you know what I'm saying? So I thought I'd open with a song by his mate singing his mate's song because we're close friends, me, Russ, Brad, I have an idea. That Audible guy. I didn't forget you, Audible. And, you know, Leela, she's a part of our little clubhouse group where we all hang out every day. So we're a tight-knit group, you know. And Russ is very dear to us. So congrats on another year around the planet. You weirdo. But yeah, yesterday was a hardcore day for Russ. Yeah, man. And, you know, so sorry to hear for the loss of your friend. And here we are. It is today. And let's say hello to everybody. I welcome you all here. Hello, Roque. Hello, Valerie Bart. Hello, Russ. Hello, Audible Video. Hello, Joe Glenn. Hello, Thomas Christ, the man who's up after me today with You Rock. Of course, You Rock. And Mars Capone. There's the fancy version, Mars Capone. Guzzo of Oz, hello to you. Nino Beats says happy birthday to Russ. Who else do I see? If I scroll up, Omni Collective, Creativity, hello to you. And can't see, everything's blacked out. That's weird. I think I've got most of you here. So, we had an Apple event, yeah? It went down. It was a thing. Was anybody expecting anything like out of the blue to be crazy? I wasn't. Absolutely wasn't. I knew what we were getting. In fact, my good friend Brad was in the chat with me for Clubhouse while we watched it live. And Brad will attest to this. Everything that they announced, I guessed beforehand. I may have got a couple of the names wrong, but I guessed the prices. I knew there was going to be a third watch. I knew about the, I called it the pill, but they called it, wait for it, the dynamic island. The dynamic island. I prefer the pill. The pill is much better. The dynamic island. It's a thing, folks. It's a thing. Shall we jump in and have a look at some stuff? Yes? Yes. All right, let's click this. Let's click this. Let's do this. I will let you know today's show is sponsored by My Gear Guide. There it is there. So it is, what is it? gear.howtoapponios.com. You can get there. And it has all of the things that are in my studio, all the things I use, microphones, mixing desks, drones, all my pedals, keyboards, guitar amps, interfaces, cameras, monitors, dongles, everything you can poke a stick at, everything is there with affiliate links if you would like to go and look at that. And if you purchase anything through the Amazon affiliate links, they break off a tiny piece for me, a slither, in fact, not even as big as the pill. And see, the pill seems even more appropriate too, because, all right, let's get it out the way. I'm just going to say it because my shows, when I look at this, it's a little bit of a roast at the same time. I'm not going to take this shit too seriously. Apple tend to take themselves a little bit too seriously sometimes. All right, just a little bit too seriously. And boy, was this particular keynote more woke than ever. I mean, there was a point, I'm telling you, where it cut back to Tim Cook standing under a giant rainbow. We get it, dude. You're gay. Seriously, I'm trans, man. We get it, all right? I was saying to Brad, I was half expecting they were going to cut back from another camera angle and he'd be licking a giant penis or something. Like, I mean, come on, dudes, relax. We get it. You don't need to stand under a giant rainbow. Like, it's just, there's so much pandering, like, at times from Apple. And, you know, I get it. People need to be, you know, we need to be treated like equal human beings, but sometimes it's just slapping you in the face. It's kind of like watching the latest series She-Hulk on Disney. It's just too much, man. It's too much. And you know, I do love the diversity of the presenters. I do miss the you know, Craig Federini and other presenters that used to be around. But at the same time, yeah, the diversity is fantastic. I mean, they even slotted in a presenter who was pregnant. And I don't know if you follow symbolism and stuff, but with all the, and look, hey, I'm 100% what's going on in the US politically with the abortion stuff, and it's pretty mean-spirited stuff, women's autonomy. But you could see them putting in a woman who was pregnant, the new features on the watch for like, there's a lot of pandering going on at Apple, but it is what it is, and that's the world we live in. I just want to know what the products are and get me the fuck out of there, because I don't want to spend 2 hours sitting around watching the same thing over and over again. So was it long? It was actually shorter than what it normally was. They did hash over things a lot, which I didn't need to be beaten over the head with several times. And we got like only a few products. We got 3 products pretty much. We got a watch. We got a couple of watches, 3 watches, and we got some headphones, and we got 4 phones. That's it in a nutshell. I'm on the US website, and we are on the Australian website because I want to do some price comparisons. Hey, Andy, what's going on? Good to see you. Omni Collective says, I accept gay people, but this rainbow show sounds a little much. It wasn't like something that, you know, ruined the experience, but I just, yeah, it did make me chuckle out loud when they cut back to Tim Cook and he was standing under a gigantic rainbow. I just was like, why doesn't a plane fly by with a big flag on the end saying, he's gay, everybody? Like, it just... You know, it just makes me laugh how blatant they are with that stuff. What's going on, Pete Johns? Good to see you. You'll be poorer in a few days. I won't be. I won't be spending any money on this phone, definitely. I will be buying one next year. And I've already decided which one I want. So that's a thing. Tim Apple. Tim Apple does stand funny. He does look like he kind of looks like a cartoon turkey, in my opinion. All right, let's talk about the stuff that they did announce. So they started off with the watch. Of course, they start off with the watch. They always start with the watch. Here's the watch. Now, I predicted it. I actually thought it was going to be called the Watch Pro. But they went one step further, didn't they? They had to take it a little bit further and call it Ultra. There were rumors about this watch because why is this? We'll talk about this new watch first. Why does the Watch Ultra exist? Well, let me tell you about that. Garmin, who are famous for making their directions, their whatever you call them in a car, a GPS, killing it at the moment with their watches. Their big fancy $1,000 watches for people who are hikers, all that kind of stuff. They're killing it in that market. And Apple has obviously paid attention to this and want a slice of the pie. Now you got to remember, Apple now have 8 years in the marketplace with watches. So they're doing okay, and they understand how the watches work. They understand who they can aim these to. Unlike the first year when they released a watch, they had no idea who these were for, what people would use them for. They were hoping that their audiences or their consumers would tell them how they would use their watches. It was very clear. If you go back and watch the first Apple event regarding watches, you will see them standing there going, it's a watch, and you could do this, and you could possibly do this. Garmin have cornered the market for people who are scuba diving, running, hiking, all these kind of things. So Apple needed to enter the space to compete and steal some of that market. And that's exactly what they did with this big, fancy, new Ultra watch. And does it look nice? It really does look nice. It looks very, very nice. It seems longer, not so much wider. It looks huge on people's arms. Absolutely looks huge. It looks gigantic. It has some interesting features on it. What are we? Let's talk about the features, because it has I can go back and talk about the Series 8 as we're up to, but all the same features from the Series 8 are in the Ultra. So it's all about adventuring, yeah? Pioneering engineering. Yes, it's a watch with a bigger little knob, and it's got the same button. It's a little bit more raised than the usual button because they've made it for people wearing gloves. One thing I just want to touch on that for people wearing gloves. They showed many, many shots of it in the snow, like in the Arctic, with people with these huge coats on, like freezing to death and snow everywhere, and their arms all covered in like clothing and protective clothing, but the watch was exposed. Is that right? Is the watch going to be able to handle Arctic temperatures outside of clothing? I don't know. It seems like that, because if you take your phone outside during extreme cold or extreme heat, you get a warning if it is cold or hot enough saying, this is not working. I find that interesting because it was always outside of the clothing in the extreme snow. Hello, Dean. I hope you're doing good. 49mm titanium case, water resistant. Here we go. Tested to mil STD 810, dust resistant. But is it going to last in snow? The watch bands are really, really nice. So you've got this fancy new light feature that happens, which looks great. I would want, if I had one of these, I would want it to look like this actually all the time. All the time. The bands look very clever, well built. The price tag's there. It's got extra microphones. It has 3 mics. It has new speaker. So it's got 2 speakers now. Cool bands. And it's got this new action button here on the side, the other side. So this action button is a customizable button that you can give it tasks. You can go in and give it its own tasks to do things that you prefer. If you're running a marathon, you can switch it up so you're running between your swim, between your your run, all that kind of stuff, to your cycle, and it'll switch like that. 60 hours battery life, pretty impressive. So there's this new oceanic feature for scuba diving. Definitely made for people who have a lot of money and do things that I don't do. Probably not good for me. I struggle getting from my bedroom to this chair each day. So I didn't see a new feature on there for like getting out of bed or anything like that. So probably not for me. So you've got this action button. We can talk about the other features that are included now with the main watch. So because there's not much change to the other watches. So this says up to 30. So it's up to 36 hours on normal settings, but they've finally added a power saving setting. I don't know why this wasn't included in Apple Watch for the longest time. So 60 hours with the power setting on, because I use power saver on iPhone all the time. If I'm traveling or if I'm heading out for the day, I always put it to power saver straight away because it just does help. Look at these bands. They're very nice. They're very industrious. Yeah, very industrious bands. And there you go. All the people who do exciting things, run around, climb mountains, skydive. Is anybody else looking at getting a watch? I want to ask in the chat, do you have an Apple Watch? Do you actually own one? What do you use it for if you own it? What is the number one thing you use your Apple Watch for if you have one? I have one. I've had 2 of them. I only have a Series 3. Hi, Mr. Back from Doing Time. I've talked about this before. I'm going to spend a bit of time on the watch because Apple did. When I initially got my watch, because Apple had no idea what they were doing with the watch when they released it, you had to justify why you were going to spend $400 here in Australia on an Apple Watch. And to me, back before the dark times, before the pandemic times, I used to go out a lot with my friends, and I always felt I was being rude sitting at a table having drinks and keeping my watch on my phone on the table. And because I'd look around and see everybody staring at their phones when we went out. So I bought the watch. I spent $400 for my friends because I was now able to put my phone in my bag and communicate with my friends and listen to them while I was out with them, because that's what the point of being out was, yeah? And so if I got a message, I could just check my watch and throw it away and keep talking. So I did it because I love my friends. And the other reason I got it was I used to travel a fair bit and drag behind me a travel bag, a rolly suitcase. And I always needed a hand-free, which always had my iPhone in my hand. So I was able now to put it in my bag and have a hand-free to do things, to vape, to grab a coffee, just to have an extra hand. GNU Ninja says 60-hour battery. My Casio Pro Sport has been running over 15 years on a solar battery. Awesome. You know, you got to do the things that make you happy and own the things that make you happy. I'm sure that Casio is the light of your life. I would love one of those. I'd like a Casio calculator watch. So yeah, there's the watch. Now, they basically have added a bunch of cool things. Crash detection. So, interesting enough, crash detection. So this is now in the iPhone and the watches. Hi, Leela. Welcome here. Here's the Watch Series 8. So, crash. So, I didn't go over the prices. Let me go back. Let me go back here. Prices. Let's have a look at the prices. US for this watch. Boom. You ready? $799. $799 for the watch. I guessed it right. So in Australia, that's about $1,000. That's a lot of biscuit, man. That's a lot of biscuit. Is it cheaper than Garmin's things? It actually is. So Garmin's top level watches are a fair bit more expensive. So they're trying to undercut them, definitely. $799, colors, fancy colors, all that stuff. Let's talk about the other watch, and then we'll get into the iPhone. Where are we? The other watch. Here it is. Learn more. So the Series 8. The Series 8 opened with a whole lot of these letters coming from people telling Tim Apple how they nearly died. I have to admit, I did find it incredibly funny. These letters of people like, I died and the watch saved me. And, you know, I can see how it's cool, but it was so dramatic. Apple, they're just so dramatic about these things, you know. Like without a watch, I'd be dead and all this stuff. That's cool. So their whole point behind this whole marketing of the watch was Apple Watch saves lives. So you better get one or you're gonna die. So don't die, buy an Apple Watch. Temperature changes. So now it has the ability to take your temperature. Now, I found it odd the way they marketed this because they marketed specifically to women. And I think this ties into this whole stuff that's going on at the moment in the US with women's body autonomy. And rightly so, it's disgusting what's happening over there. Women should have the right to decide what they do with their own bodies. I've talked on this before. But they talked about this temperature change for for looking up women's cycles and menstruation cycles. And they tied in this temperature thing with that, where I thought the temperature would have been good for so many more things, like just taking your temperature. But interesting the way they've set it up as well. They have like a thermometer in the top where the glass is and a thermometer down in the sensor to balance out if it's actually hot on top of the watch or compared to your flesh. Clever technology if it works. And it's Apple, so I'm sure it'll work. Crash detection, mentioned this before. So if you're in a car accident now, it has these velocity settings that will know that you've been in a car accident, and it will automatically dial it will dial 000 here in Australia or 911 and do an SOS call if you're in a car accident. Apparently they've worked the accelerometer to know when a high impact and a crash bag hits you in a car. Very interesting stuff if it works. I was saying to Brad when we were watching it live in Clubhouse, you wouldn't want to wear it on a roller coaster. You'd be getting off the roller coaster and you'd have an ambulance waiting for you going, hello? Did somebody call us? What's going on? So I think you'd have to, be well aware of what's going on there. So here, the high G-force accelerometer detects to 256 G's of impact. So that's pretty impressive. There you go. 1 million hours of real-world driving and crash data. So, yeah, they've stuck this on crash test dummies and driven it into shit. They showed a few images, bits of footage of cars crashing and stuff with it inside the car. It was actually the phone they showed. So that's pretty cool. Low power mode, 4 colors. That's it. All the usual stuff. Not much change, really, with the normal one. If you're expecting something exciting with the Watch Series 8, not really. Crash detection, that's about it. And your temperature seems to be the way. $399 is your price to pay. Yeah? So that is, man, Apple's gone gender woke. Temperature over himself. Okay, blind and gold. Yeah, okay. So there we go. That is the watch. With different loops, they got different prices, all that kind of stuff. Shall we go back? Shall we go back to the phone? Let's talk about the phone. So, iPhone. Do we need to mention the headphones? Headphones. What are you getting the headphones? Here's the iPods Pro. Yep, they got an update. Guess what? The presenter looked like a robot, talked like a robot. Personalized spatial audio where you can scan the side of your face with your phone to understand the shape of your face for your personalized spatial audio. And my notes here say AirPods Pro, robot presenter, personalized spatial audio. It's got an improved finder to find the charger with the earbuds in them. She's dressed like Big Bird's wife and blah, 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 blah. That's my notes for the earpods. Maybe they could improve the sound when people are outside talking into them and they're in Clubhouse and it sounds like they're in the jungle or they're in they're in a wind tunnel continuously. But apparently they've fixed like noise cancellation by, I think it was 20 or 30%, something like that. They've improved the noise cancellation, so they say. And now the noise cancellation is smarter, I think. Hey, what's going on, Deep Gravity? So now it's on the new chip, it's the H2 chip, I think, and it has the ability to, with AI, understand the surroundings around you. So if you're outside and it's trying to noise cancel cars and just general traffic, and then you come across somebody with a jackhammer, it will accommodate for the jackhammer, apparently. I know Pete's probably going to end up getting a pair of these. The one thing which I was a bit pissed off about with this is they haven't found a way to stop you from losing them or dropping them in the toilet or putting them in the washing machine, because it's a lot of money to pay for something that so many people lose one of them, drop them in the toilet, or drop them in leave them in their pocket. Yeah? How much are they? Let's $249 for something so easily that you can drop into a toilet or put them in your pocket, put them through the wash, and then they're fucked. It's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. But they're the Earpods. Pretty boring stuff, really, in my opinion. There you go. Let's talk about the phones, shall we? Because you're definitely getting a pair. Well, this is the thing too. They've made it so if you need headphones, you kind of have to get them, don't you? Unless you want to get some cheapies. Totally up to you. But yeah, they have made them. And I know Pete talked about this on his show the other day, how his pair, every time he's got them connected to his iPhone and he comes into the house, into his studio, they try to connect to the fucking Mac. That's got to be super frustrating. I would lose my shit over stuff like that. All right, before we jump in and talk about the iPhone, what didn't we get? What didn't we get? And is anyone shocked? We didn't get iPads, and I'm really happy about that. And we're definitely not going to get iPads. I predict, and you can mark this in your calendar now. Let me have a look at my calendar just to make sure I give you a date. So knock it off on your bingo calendar. The iPad event will be around the 18th. Sorry, the 17th or 18th of October. That's when we'll get the iPad event. It won't be as early next month. There'll be probably about a week and a half later than this. And that's where we will get our Macs and iPad Pros. That's where this will happen, definitely. So if you were expecting iPad Pros, it was never going to happen. So that's... yeah, and I'm happy about that because I'm saving up for an iPad Pro, a brand new iPad Pro, hoping there's going to be an M2 in there, definitely. And I don't need an iPhone, so I really didn't care about the iPhone event. So let's talk about the iPhone now. iPhone 14. Here it is. So there's two of them, iPhone 14 Pro and the iPhone 14. Firstly, the iPhone 14 is huge, and they're not releasing a smaller version this year. They're not giving you a smaller mini or anything like that. There you go. And the size is increased. Bigger and bigger and bigger for people who need big. Way too big for me, I believe. I'm still rocking a iPhone SE 2. Why? Because it's a phone. I don't need it to be an aeroplane. I don't need to fly it. I have 3 iPads. I don't need a phone. It's just a pissing contest at the moment, it feels to me. Like 6.1 now and 6.7. Look at that hand. Look how much space there is there. So big, man. And I know there's people out there who love big phones, and that's cool. It works. Doesn't work for me. Longest battery life ever, obviously, because it's huge. So if the phone's bigger, you're going to get more battery life. they're saying you get 24 hours pretty much. So if you're using low power, you're going to get a bit more battery. That's nice. Emergency SOS via satellite. There was rumors about this. So if you are outside and you're in the wilderness, you're away from cell and all this kind of stuff, you will be able to connect to actual satellites that are off this planet in the atmosphere. For those of you who are flat earthers, sorry, you may need to see a doctor. We are on a ball. Well, it's an odd shaped anyway. So this will reach a satellite. If you are in an emergency, this will connect to a satellite, and you will be able to either send a text to a relay station to get help, or it will connect you to get help. Really fascinating stuff. The rumors are that they're getting this out there because of Starlink, having more and more Starlinks up there, and Starlink will be a thing. It's already a thing at the moment. So there you go. It's really cool that they've added such a feature on there, because if you're out in the bush and you get lost, you're fucked. So that's really cool. A huge leap in light photos. So the major upgrades to these phones is definitely the cameras. The cameras have had some major updates. You can't deny it. The cameras are amazing. They really are amazing. All-day battery life, 5 colors for these. 5 colors. I'll probably pop up here. They are using, this one is using last year's chip. So the A15 Bionic chip. There you go. Trade-ins. So they're offering trade-ins. That rumor never got confirmed. I heard rumors that they were going to be moving towards all devices that they sell, you can now lease. I don't know if that was a thing. Going to have to look further into the site. So, of course, a new Retina XDR display. All this kind of stuff. The notch is still there. There's the notch. So the notch on the iPhone, the basic iPhones, still has the notch. So got 2 cameras for this. 2 cameras. There's your colors there. 5 fantastic colors. And water resistant. Of course, they got the new lock screen and all that with iOS that is coming out. Okay, vital safety features. So here are the safety features. The emergency SOS. That's cool. We've already talked about that. Peace of mind when you're off your grid. If you don't have cell service or Wi-Fi, lets you text emergency services over satellite. Here's hoping that in the future, it'll just let you do text to people as well using a satellite. I'm sure once Starlink and all that's in action, we'll be good to go. Huge battery. So you get 26 hours. And there you go. So for the 14 Plus and 20 hours for the 14. 21% more screen. Shame I didn't get 21% more hand. But yes, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, actually. I don't mind shitting on the size of them. I don't need to carry a tablet around in my fucking hand. But there's a thing. True tone, all this stuff. Camera, nice camera. We know all that. Camera's still 12 megapixels, right? So still the same deal. Not too much. The low light's been improved, stuff like that. We've got this new steady cam. So we've got this new feature here for filming. And apparently it's, they say it's really good. Home movies, we already had that with the last iteration of this. Snap your sharpest, most colorful close-ups, group shots thanks to true depth on the front camera. So there you go. True depth on your front camera with autofocus, larger aperture. There's larger aperture across all of the cameras, of course. So it's the A15 Bionic from last year. And that, my friends, is the basic iPhone. Prices for the basic iPhone come in at Bada bing, bada boom, bada boom, boom, boom. Let's have a look. $7.99 or $8.99 for these. There you go. $7.99, $8.99 for these basic ones. Let's skip over and have a look at the big one. So if I'm going to get a phone next year, I will definitely be getting this, one of these. The iPhone 14 Pro. And the notch is gone. It is replaced with the dynamic island. The dynamic island. It's like Gilligan's Island, but there's more sexual tension between the professor and Ginger, and Gilligan and what was the skipper. More sexual tension on the dynamic island of relevance. There you go. Now, there was rumors about the pill. That's what it was called throughout the iOS media. They were calling it the pill, and it is something. It definitely has turned out to be something that is true. It looks good. It looks really clever. I'm down with it. It's definitely caught my attention. Look, and I know there's lots of people out there who cry about the notch, but then there's lots of people who need something to cry about all the time. You either want, like, it's getting to this point where everything's done, man. We're so, there's so much technology already stuffed into these phones. There's not really much else you can do. There's no wiggle room. What else can you add to these phones that are going to wow people anymore? Yeah? Like, we basically have in our pockets something that is more powerful than the computers that sent people to the moon. And I know flat earthers, but sorry, you're going to have to deal with it. But yeah, these things already could power another mission to the moon. How much more do you want in these phones? So, and I know the notch is annoying, and this seems really clever that they're trying to find a way to make the notch have some kind of relevance. So it actually integrates and plays a part. I like it. I think the most interesting thing of this whole keynote, whatever you want to call it these days, and this is saying a lot that this keynote was pretty boring, that the most interesting thing was what they've done with the software for this island of relevance, or whatever it is called. So here it is. This is it working. So all of your notifications and information, even up to like your passports, charging information, Wi-Fi information. You can put your music player up here as well. Really clever. Just have a look at them go through again. So you got your music there. You've got notifications, AirDrop, and it all just contextually comes down. You can tap on it and it disappears. Super clever. Super clever, because I know when I saw renders of this, everyone was already bitching, going, well, what's going to happen with the space up here? What about this space here? And it's like, really? Is that the biggest thing you've got to fucking cry about on this planet? So it looks like we're done with the old school little strip up the top. Now everything is integrated into this little section here. So it contextually changes, moves out the way. I like that I like that it's simple on the sides now. It's not too cluttered, because that little bar up the top has been so cluttered for so long. You know, it's been quite annoying. The missing part of the screen where the battery is more prominent on other phones. They're definitely trying their best to make the notch, the island of relevance. The dynamic island. They're trying to integrate it as much as they can. They're definitely trying to find their way around it. And who knows, as we may get to next year with the iPhone 15, this will be a standard for the basic phones. You know, this is their feature for this, their selling point. Because, and look, here's the deal, right? People can cry and go, oh, all they did was change the notch to like a little pill. They probably wouldn't have done it if people didn't cry so much about the notch. If you cry about, if people get so worked up about something so much so, then obviously they're going to go away and try and find a solution to change that. So there's your next feature. Remember, you know, Apple take note of what people are upset about, and then they try to give a solution to that problem. And the biggest problem people have had for ages has been the notch. The notch is the thing. So they've gone away, obviously, and spent all this money and time to try and improve the notch. Yeah, I think it's a good attempt. I like it. I think it's cool. I think it's going to make the lock screen much better. So we're getting an always on display, and the technology apparently behind this is super cool. The lock screen is only using like a slither of CPU to be able to do this, and to keep it always on. And they've got these this way, so when your photos go dark, they actually keep the tone of the human skin, and they change the photos so it looks nice. Instead of it just going dark, it highlights certain parts of the photo. You know, hey, is this all just wank? Sure, absolutely. But does it look nice? And is there a subsect of people who buy iPhones for the fancy pants, elitist kind of stuff? Absolutely. So does it appeal? Absolutely. Your photo, font, your widgets, all on your iPhone. So we're definitely getting changes to the lock screen, which are way overdue with iOS 16. So that's exciting. A display that's up to 2 times brighter and 2 times brighter in the sun. That's good, you know, to be able to see your phone in the sun. What else is here? Oh, yeah, it comes in a color, deep purple. See what they did there? Music, deep purple. Tim Cook. Very clever. Also, these phones are now SIM trayless. From what I remember, I'm pretty sure that's what I heard. No more SIM trays. They have gone 100% eSIMs. And you can have multiple eSIMs on your phone. So if you are traveling overseas, that's really handy to be able to just get an eSIM when you land. I guess that's going to be interesting if you go to, who knows, you could go to a country where they don't have eSIM. I don't know. Are eSIMs available all around the world? I don't know. So that is another thing that they have added, the eSIMs. If you don't have cell service or Wi-Fi, you can. So we've covered that. Crash detection is also in the phones. Happy days. So if you've got your phone mounted, you have an accident, they showed a footage of it happening. So, yeah, people, they showed the car crashing and the phone dealing with it. So, and it calling emergency. This is where the biggest changes are for cameras. Cameras seem amazing. Yes, for the update of the Pro and the Pro Max, 48 megapixels of for your pixel sensors, but it's quite clever the way they're doing it as well. So they're integrating the pixels, the way the software integrates with the pixels. So it takes the photo in 48 megapixels, and then it kind of crushes it down to like a 12 megapixel. It's very clever the way they've done it. The way it's the photo scans. It takes like a scan in real time of the photo, and you can see it here. Like it actually takes a scan of it within the photo super fast. The computational numbers are out of this world. They're like in the trillions, you know, it's ridiculous. So 4 times resolution for jaw-dropping cropping. So if you're cropping photos, you know, it's undeniable. These cameras are fucking sick. 65% larger sensor than previous model. Mind-blowing. Yeah, and they've added this extra camera in there for picture versatility. So you've got the main camera. Yeah, you've got the ultra-wide macro, and you've got the telephoto. It's really nice. It's really nice. Much more detail, all this kind of stuff.
3 times better low light photos, 2 times better low light photos for your main camera, 3 times for ultra wide, and 2 times for telephoto. The photos are sick. You can't deny it. It's amazing. Breathtaking frames per second, 4K HDR, 24 frames per second. They're also talking about 4K at 24 or 30 frames per second. Super cool. You've got this new what is it called? It's called action mode. This is action mode for shaky shots. They showed people like running really fast, holding the camera, and it seemed like it does a much better job at removing shakes and off-road kind of stuff. So that's really cool. Look at those cameras. They've improved the flash as well, apparently. I think it was something like 6 LEDs inside that. I think the first LED introduces itself to the second one. The second one graciously accepts and then asks if they would like to join the third one for dinner, perhaps. The fourth one is their lawyer who's there just to see if everything's okay. And finally, the fifth and the sixth one are their parents, and it's all a happy family of LED lights. So you've got 3 cameras, super cool cameras, super huge apertures. I mean, it's sick. What can you say? The cameras get better and better and better and better. Here's the new chip. It is the A16 Bionic. Man, does this thing have some stuff? Yeah, it has some shit going on. 6 cores, 5-core GPU. It's got a lot of shit. Let's look at the specs quickly of this. 16 billion transistors, faster 6-core CPU, 17 trillion operations per second, 50% more memory bandwidth. I mean, it's pretty crazy stuff. Yeah. Again, Apple never tell you about the RAM or anything like that. They never go into those kind of details because you don't need to know that shit. Why would you? It's not like you're making music with these things, is it? It's not like you're a creative type, because they don't care about creative types at all. Up to 29 hours battery, 23 hours with video playback. So long SIM tray. There's no more SIM tray. All gone SIM tray. So forget that little thing. And you know, Apple have been wanting to get rid of the SIM tray forever because it was just another thing that water would get into. You know, and they don't want to get water in their devices. They want them to be completely water resistant. Yep, AR's still there. All the usual stuff's still there. Plus, I think that's it. Shall we look at the prices? Prices. Boom. If you're getting a MacBook Pro Guitar Shocker, I would definitely wait until October when they most likely announce new ones, because that's when it will be. In October with iPad Pros. So, here's the prices in the US. $999 for the base model. For the Pro, $1,099 for the Max. Let's have a look at the Max. The prices with sizes. I'm going to go for this. What's it called? Space Black. Space Black. Yes. And there you go. 1 terabyte, $1,599. 512, $1,399. So the base model's 128. So the rumors were that they were going to up the base models of the phones to 256. They've kept 128 as the base model. Still pretty good, you know. Still pretty good. So there's your prices. This is for the, what are we looking at? The Pro Max. And what's in the box? You get a phone and a cable. There you go. That's all you get. Good stuff. A lot more expensive in Australia. I'm not even going to cover the Australian prices. It's very depressing. I'll quickly do it if you like. There we go. So there's the prices for the other one. Let's quickly go over to the Aussie prices. So this is the one I want to buy next year. And this is how much it's going to cost me. iPhone, I just want the Pro, because the smaller one. Black. Fucking hell, are you kidding me? Look at that. 256 gig. See that? How much that is? $1,899. The terabyte one is $2,599. All right, that's it. That's done. That is the Apple event. Phones, watches, headphones. Are you going to get anything? Leave a comment below if you're going to. Let me know. I'd be interested to find out if you're getting anything. I'm not. Maybe next year. I'm saving up for an iPad Pro. That is the most important thing I want right now. And it is what it is. Nothing too shocking from Apple. Pretty much we knew what we were going to get. Yeah. We knew there was going to be no iPads or anything like that. I'm going to go out playing a bit of Brad Example, the song we opened with me doing a cover of it, and I'm going to play his original version. And Thomas Christ is up next, folks, with You Rock. As soon as this show is finished, it will dump you over there. We've got an interview with TJ Zindel tomorrow. It's going to be fucking sick. You don't want to miss this interview. It's going to be great. He's an amazing artist. We're going to go today with Brad Example, a video clip that was made by Russ8889, whose birthday it is today. Thomas Christ is up next. As soon as the show ends, it'll dump you over to Thomas's channel. Thanks for being here today. Apple's done for another year. iPhones are a-coming and boom, 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 boom. This is Brad Example. Let's do it. See you tomorrow. Yeah? Oh, yeah.
Try